Well, let's take you back now to Nigeria and the recent string of attacks that have been blamed on Boko Haram. The group is fighting to overthrow the government and impose Islamic law. It was founded in 2002 in the town of Maiduguri in northern Nigeria. Its activities were largely peaceful for the first 7 years. Nigeria's government took notice in 2009 when it began to investigate reports that the group was arming itself. An estimated 700 people were killed in fighting during raids by Nigerian security forces. The group's then leader, Mohammed Yusuf, died in police custody. Since then, the violence has escalated dramatically. Its members have launched at least 10 major attacks, killing hundreds of people. The group is considered by many to be a major threat not only to the government of Nigeria, but the stability of surrounding countries as well. The United States administration believes it's allied with Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb across the Saharan region of West Africa. Michael Amoah is from the London School of Economics. He's an author and expert on Africa. He joins us now live from London. Obviously, this group, if these attacks are perpetrated by them, is on the offensive. I mean, how much of a challenge is this for Goodluck Jonathan's government?
It's quite a big challenge for the government, and the situation is extremely volatile at this stage because it's really unpredictable what is going to happen next. And also the fact that there are also informants, perhaps in the security apparatus, who may be leaking information to Boko Haram. So I think it's extremely important that discipline within the security apparatus to ensure that tactics are not leaking out does take place. So at the moment, it's quite a challenge for the Goodluck Jonathan government to deal with the situation.
Well, obviously, the tactics don't seem to be working. Some would argue that they're in fact backfiring, that this heavy-handed approach that the government has employed so far, and we've just talked about raids taking place, hundreds of Boko Haram followers dying, some of them dying in police custody. Some would argue this isn't working. If anything, it's further fueling the violence and radicalizing the group's members and its followers.
Well, I mean, Boko Haram are not an easy group to handle, so we cannot excuse a strong arm tactic. I think a combination of strong arm as well as strategic tactic that will actually disarm them and disarm the opposition's tactics is also very important. Of course, we have to realize that there are sentiments within the general public that seem to be swaying on behalf of the group because of poverty and other social concerns. However, that doesn't mean that the security apparatus should sit down and do nothing. So it will have to be a combination of strong arm tactics as well as strategic ways of combating the group.
I don't hear you talk about negotiating, though, with the group. How do you defeat such an amorphous group if it is, in fact, true that they also have a structure that goes well beyond the borders of Nigeria, that they have links with other groups? How do you defeat such an ideology if you don't speak with its leaders?
Well, I mean, first of all, they don't have a coherent ideology, so you don't have to approach them ideologically. More importantly, the demands that they've actually put on the table are non-negotiable. They're asking for their captured leaders in prison to be released. They're also asking for justice for their leaders who were killed from 2009 when the government began to clamp down. And they're also asking for the military to leave Maiduguri. Now, these are non-negotiable. So at this particular stage, negotiation is not the card which the security apparatus would like to play. When they have been defeated and now we're talking about decommissioning of arms, then you can want to sort of sit down and talk to them. But I think at this stage, the security apparatus has every reason to try and deal with them and finish their tactics.
So what is the alternative, though? If this is the way things are going to move forward, if the government and its security forces are going to pursue the same tactics that they have in the past few years, aren't we likely to see the country descend into more sectarian violence?
We hope it doesn't get to that stage. I think it is essential that whatever pans out in the end, that the security apparatus is seen to be on top of the situation. I mean, there have been many similar scenarios in the past. For example, as in Northern Ireland, it takes quite a while for the security apparatus to get its head around every single thing on the ground. And I think at this moment in time, discipline within the security apparatus and the stoppage of intelligence leakage, as well as actually being able to overcome the steps which they've planned, are quite important to go ahead with.
Amoah, an Africa analyst at the London School of Economics, speaking to us from London. Thanks very much.